Today, access your TiVo from anywhere on the web. Plus, witness the shadow side of Photoshop expert Bert Monroy. And make your own Sasquatch documentary. Check that out. Live from the Tech TV studios in San Francisco, it's the Screensavers.
Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
Wow, we have a live audience tonight.
Very live.
On fire, on fuego.
Amazing what you can do.
On fuego. Yeah, look at them. I'm Leo Laporte. We thank you so much for joining us. This is the show where we show you cool new stuff. We answer tech's toughest questions, and we got a great, an unbelievable. This is going to be a show for the ages.
The ages?
The ages.
Posterity even?
Roll the VHS. Roll the TiVo. Get the replay fired up, kids.
But before we get to the good stuff, we're going to start
the news.
The news.
The news.
As chosen by us.
This is the good stuff. Many people, well, my mom.
You're in love with this story.
I'm in love with this story. A software glitch is most likely the reason. Remember, this was the Soyuz recovery mission to get the guys off the space station. And they had that Soyuz capsule. And the problem with Soyuz, and the reason why the American astronauts, they don't like to say this, don't like to take Soyuz. They would rather to take the American thing, the shuttle. The reason is Soyuz, the shuttle lands on with the wheels and rolls. The Soyuz lands on the ground.
Well, with a parachute.
Well, they got a parachute, but it lands on the ground.
The Apollos landed with a parachute.
Yeah, and it's in the middle of the desert, right?
Right.
Well, they landed a parachute in the ocean.
Kazakhstan, it's not exactly.
It's the middle of the.
Well, let me tell you something. You hit the ocean at 100 miles an hour, it's just like concrete.
Well, not just like. If you hit concrete at 100 miles an hour, it's not just like the ocean.
If it shatters every bone in your body,
well,
it shatters every bone in your body.
Anyway, they don't like it because they land in the desert on hard land. And they got a parachute, but and so they did this, right? And it's like it was
that or stay up there for another.
Well, no,
6
they were glad
months.
to be home, I'm sure, but they couldn't find him.
Right.
So it turns out it was
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. They're driving around the desert. Did you notice the guys who got them were wearing like leather jackets? They look like KGB.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? They're driving around. Ilya knows what I'm talking about. They're driving around in the desert. Looking, they're in the Jeeps.
Well, in a helicopter, actually.
In a helicopter Jeep.
Helicopter Jeep.
What does it matter? The point of my story is it was because of a software glitch.
They think.
They say the descent was so sharp, these spacemen's tongues rolled back in their heads, and they could barely breathe. Where do we get this? Is this the National Enquirer? They could barely breathe.
Scientist.
The spacecraft landed 460 kilometers off course on Sunday, and they believe it's because they had upgraded the software and it accidentally turned off the system that, makes the spacecraft tilt the right way. It was in the wrong way. They don't think it's human error. They think it's a software error.
But no reports on whether or not they're running Windows.
Yes. Well,
if they'd been running Macs, dead center, baby.
That's right. That's right. So it just shows you. I'm glad. We're making light of this, and frankly, thank goodness they're safe and sound. They're on the ground. Everybody's fine. No problem. But it was a little scary moment for a little while for everybody.
2.5 hours of scary moment.
Yeah. But did you see the guys that got them? Leather jackets. Shouldn't they be wearing like clean suits, and white bunny suits or something? They're wearing leather jackets.
Their space program is a little different from our space program.
Hey,
our guys, they get picked up, they get put in an airstream.
That's right. We got the space taxi.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure to make me, not to mention privacy groups, very happy. Radio frequency ID tags, RFID tags, are the next big thing.
They're going to put them in clothes and everything.
Procter & Gamble, they say if they put them, just not even talking about shrinkage, that's theft for everybody, in terms of shipping, right, between their factories and getting it to the stores, they expect to save $50 billion a year by being able to properly track this stuff.
And there's cool stuff like you could put it in the washing machine.
Sure.
The washing machine could say, oh, that's rayon. I'm going to make sure that I turn that on the hottest temperature possible.
Or it could refuse to run because you have it with the wrong temperature set on there.
Dry clean only.
It also means that if somebody's clever enough, they could actually track every time you come in and out of their store, in and out of the mall,
These are the
anytime you walk by them on the streets.
They're the same things that if you drive through a toll booth, and you have one of these things that pays automatically.
Right.
That's an RFID. It just
only it's tiny and it's microscopic and it doesn't require batteries or a credit card and it would live in your clothes.
Yeah.
So developers say consumers will be asked if they wish to have ID features switched off before they leave a store. This is what they're actually trying to build in.
Ask?
Well,
would you like your ID
look, let me tell you
turned
something. 90% of the population, 99.999% of the population is going to buy their shirt at the Gap or wherever, and they're going to leave.
Right.
Me, I'm going to know they can turn it off, and I'm going to say, turn it off.
You know what's interesting about the off switch? It's permanent.
Right.
It breaks the thing.
That's good.
It stops working forever.
We like that.
We do like that.
We like that a lot.
Now they're thinking they might have to do two. One that turns the Patrick Norton switch, and then one without.
So they can leave it on and
They
track
say, sure,
me.
Pat, we'll turn it off.
Yeah.
It's off.
It's a scary thought, though. I mean, think about it. Remember the scene what was that movie with?
Yeah, Minority Report.
Yeah, where he walks down and it's like, wouldn't you like to be seeing yourself in a Volvo?
They know where, absolutely.
I don't like the idea of being tracked. I don't even want to be tracked inside a Benetton.
I don't blame you at all.
Not that they make any clothes big enough to fit me.
Benetton.
Not that I'm bitter.
Do you remember the TV, speaking of TV ads, remember the ads by the Internet Security Systems, ISS? Right. And they had that evil hacker messing with corporate networks. Well, ironically, ISS itself got hacked.
Oops.
The website. Now look this is a group, the ISS that you're supposed to go to protect your computer, to protect yourself. They can't even protect their own website. Yeah. A group called the Unix Security Guards, or USG, attacked the site where ISS offers free download of its FireWire software to students. Our advice, don't download the software.
Well,
okay. If they...
Well,
it wasn't them.
It was their web server that got hacked.
Oh, all right.
Find somebody who can get this software. Hey,
Brandenburg, Kentucky. Micah's on the phone, our first call of the day.
Hey, Micah.
Hey, Micah.
Hey, what's up?
Not much.
What's up?
What's up with you?
Whoa.
Whoa.
What's up? Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what can we do for you, Micah?
I got a question. I'm going off to college soon. I'm not sure where I'm going exactly yet.
Okay. I know the feeling.
I want to know PowerBook or iBook.
You know, FID.
PowerBook or iBook? Well, I got an even bigger question. Do you know what school you're going to? I mean,
he just said he didn't.
Okay. Here's let me slow down my mouth and let my brain catch up for a moment. Here's a question for you. Do you know what your major is going to be? Do you know what you want to study?
Yeah, probably biochemistry, something to get into medical school with.
Good for you. Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
He can do math, which is something Leo and I can't do without help.
Why do you say a Macintosh? You don't want to do Windows?
No, I am tired of doing Windows.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
The only thing I would say, yeah, we're all clapping here. I would say definitely go with the PowerBook over the iBook, because you know what? If you want this thing to last 3 or 4 years, I assume you're not going to want to buy another computer in 2 years. You want to get as much power as you can possibly get to start with, because notebooks, they just really aren't upgradable.
The good thing I have to say about the iBook is this polycarbonate case is, you know, it's their cheaper one, but this is the most durable case they make. This thing you could
that new 12-inch. The new 12-inch PowerBook is pretty solid.
Yeah, you know, the problem with these metal cases, and we have one in the lab, it's already got dents all over it, because if you drop it, this thing just bounces. If you drop that thing, it dents.
We can only hope that Mike is going to, take care of his extraordinary investment.
The big difference is the G4 processor versus G3 processor.
Having run the 17-inch PowerBook for just a weekend, I can say
get the G4.
Get the G4.
I would agree with you. Now, I'm very happy with the G3. I don't feel any urge to upgrade, but I'm not doing biochemistry. I don't have...
I mean, if you're running stuff like Mathematica, if you're running any sort of large calculation program, 3D calculations, any of that stuff, you'll be dying to render that stuff out faster. The one thing I'd worry about, Micah, is if you buy this and you get to school and you find out all the software you're supposed to be running for your classes is running on Windows.
Or what if your professor wants papers on a floppy disk?
Well, you can buy an external floppy disk.
Yeah, but he'll probably want it on a Windows floppy. I mean,
yeah, but you can format it to Windows. That's another nice thing about the book.
I tricked him into saying something nice about them.
I said something nice earlier, unprovoked.
I know. But I'm playing devil's advocate.
Be careful that you don't end up with a computer that you can use, but then you have to go to the computer lab to run a bunch of software you can't get for your system.
You know, just between you and me, Micah, I think the Mac is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I think that little PowerBook, the aluminum one, is beautiful. You're going to be very happy with it. It's very robust. It's got great Wi-Fi, which is more than you can say for the titaniums. Go ahead and get that one. And get the DVD burner.
Yeah.
A couple extra $100, and you got you got backup galore. Okay.
All right.
You'll be, in fact, watch, because we're going to have a guest here in a little bit who's going to show you how he used his Macintosh to edit a feature-length film. And this kind of thing you might be doing, in a couple of years.
Because biochemistry, you never know where the video's going to go.
You know, you might want a second job. Okay, Micah?
All right. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I would say the PowerBook. You'll be happy. Although, like I said, I love my G3. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to unveil a must-have Matrix download for your delectation. We're getting close. Oh, yeah. Only 9 days till Matrix Unloaded.
Reloaded. Tickets here.
Whatever it's called. We're going to show you how easy it is to shoot and edit your own movies and documentaries, too, as I said, when the Screensavers continues with a special mystery guest. may remember our next guest from such tech TV programs as Internet Tonight and My Friend Baldy. Now he's taken all the technology learned, I don't know where that came from the screensavers and shot a documentary about Bigfoot. Let's take a look.
I've always wanted to make a film, so I bought some of the newfangled equipment and decided to go on short little expeditions and sojourns with people I've met over the years who've either shown an avid interest in Sasquatch or have at least apparently tolerated my own.
My God, it's Scott Aaron!
Oh!
Scott! It's great to see you, dude! It really is good to see you.
It's great seeing you guys, too. It's
All these years ago, we worked together on a ZD TV back in the good old days.
1947.
And now,
hand crank TVs.
Hand crank TV, and now you're back. And you made, so since you left the screensavers, you've been working on this document. I know you've always been into Sasquatch.
Absolutely, and I think actually I got a bit of the tech bug, even though I was pretty much, and still am an official tech idiot. But I got a little, actually as I left here, I got more interested and I said, I always wanted to make a film, so I heard great things about the Canon XL1.
There you go, this is the camera you shot it on?
Exactly, well not the actual, but the same type.
Same type.
And recommendation.
You were a Windows guy the last time I saw you.
I did, and I bought a PowerBook. This is my PowerBook G4. I got Final Cut Pro 3. And just went and made this documentary with basically 6 segments of. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'll start rambling here.
No, this is good. This is a lifetime dream of yours, though, isn't it?
Yes.
To make this. You've been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah, and I didn't want to try to make things I've seen before. There's been a lot of good documentaries about, what is the exact evidence. I just wanted to make it pretty personal. People I've met, both skeptics and believers alike, and have fun with it.
Now, because you're a comic, Scott, a lot of people say you're kind of, this is all tongue-in-cheek, the Sasquatch thing.
Yeah.
But you're serious about this.
I am, but yeah, like I was saying, I like to have fun with it too.
Right.
So sometimes that bothers me, and sometimes I just kind of like. I love it when people like they wait for the
not
punchline.
sure.
Yeah, they're like
they think you're Andy Kaufman.
Yeah,
this is
exactly,
like a whole
exactly. So I guess I can live with that.
A lifelong shtick.
I know, but I am serious, and I think that
what
comes
is
out
Sasquatch?
It's my Uncle Dave.
See, I knew it. See, no.
It's.
Do we know anything about?
Well, the going theory, and one which, by the way, I think Jane Goodall last September came out and says she believes these things actually do.
Really?
Yes.
Now, see, that's pretty heavy duty.
It is, and she's actually going to be at a Bigfoot symposium up in Willow Creek, California.
Wow.
So it's kind of a big step in
acceptance.
Exactly, and I think it's going to lead to them being zooed. Damn it!
So really, you think somebody will catch one and put them in a zoo?
I hope that doesn't happen. Hopefully that there's enough awareness built up about these things before something like that could happen. I think there's actually laws enacted now in different regions that would prevent or
But we want to
penalize.
study them. I mean, we want to somehow learn about them, and they're very elusive, very difficult. Now, people are using high-tech gear to track these guys, aren't they?
Exactly. In fact, one of the segments of the documentary is a guy named William Drain Guinness who claimed to have a sighting in 1995. He's an engineer, so he rigged this van up with $40,000 of high-tech stuff, including a. Here's a clip right now from it.
You're in the van now.
Yeah, there, and here's his little. This is a thermal imaging device.
Wait a minute, that comes out of the roof of the van?
Yeah, it's great. So look at this.
The man's
We're
insane.
scanning around. Are we getting audio? Is there audio on that?
Yeah, we can kind of hear clicks.
And so there I was.
It says it looks like something.
It's
a kitty cat. Wow, but you can see something that small.
Yeah, and then I thought it was Chupacabra.
You think it's a fox? I think it's a fox, yes.
Or Chupa.
And there's Sasquatch.
What
No,
you
that's
said.
William.
1 a.m. in the morning.
So, dead of night.
Wow, what's that, an elephant?
Oh, it's a
no,
cow.
it's
No, it's a camel.
it's 2 elk tumping is what it is.
You were half right.
Yeah, it was really cool. So, and he's a really down-to-earth, sane guy. He's one of these, just very believable. And him and 2 other guys, one of which was an FBI agent, had the sighting.
Now, how long has he been doing this?
Since '95, since he had the sighting, putting together stuff, and he has this van and he goes to different conferences and shows it off.
Has he found anything with this high-tech equipment?
A lot of moonshiners.
I bet.
No.
Strange things going on in the
Not
woods.
yet, not yet. It's if these things in fact do exist, I mean, there's a reason why it's so difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's few and far between.
They're hard to see, but I know you had an experience.
Yes.
You couldn't quite call it a sighting. It was a
half sighting videotape involved. It's in the documentary.
It's in the documentary.
It's in the documentary. The footage that was shot. We had been interviewed on like A&E and sightings on this.
Amazing. I mean, I saw the footage at your house. I mean, it was kind of mind-blowing.
I'm pretty convinced that what was there was a Sasquatch.
So you shot it all. Now this is a digital camera, so you fire-wired it in. I see you have a fire-wire drive here, and you used, as you said, Final Cut. Not a desktop though. Why a laptop?
I just like the mobility in case I was going to go on the road and do any logging.
So you could edit in the field.
And yeah, plus I live in a tiny apartment, and I've already got the windows stacked there, and my desk. It was like this much.
I've seen your desk.
Yes, you came over and fixed some stuff once. So I just went with this, and I got Mark DeVito, who used to work here, really gave me a strong recommendation.
Editor,
and it was great.
So how hard? I mean, look, I have to tell you, I'm impressed, Scott. I have tried to learn how to use this program. It is obscure. It is difficult. Did you get lessons? What did you do?
I would call, I think Dave Rubin's actually in the house somewhere, one of the
Another
editors
one of our
is in the back, Matt Korb, DeVito, and I would
say, what the heck does
Well, we
this
actually
do?
worked out a thing where I pay him $10 every time I ask him a question.
No,
I go,
really?
Oh, geez, it's Harriet again. Oh, it's $10. Okay, great. So finally, I can cut on it now. I can cut on it.
You can do it, and you can show me do something.
This is a little clip right here with Ed Marquez, who was a surf guru on Internet Tonight, and this is a lady who's a curator.
I was when they first started
at the Willow Creek
because there are
Museum.
so many sightings.
And you did the titles and everything?
Yeah.
Now, how did you do the DVD mastering? Did you go to a bureau? Or
I went to a place in LA. I want to give a nice plug to Point360, and they did the dubs for me.
They take the files from Final Cut and do it?
I actually know. I went to an independent guy I know who's a big fan. His name's
There's Ed
John.
Marquez.
This older Australian guy who's a big fan of the screensaver.
Really? Well, hi, John.
Yeah, John, he's probably out there. And he made the master DVD, and then I went and got the dubs made for
That's
him.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How can people buy copies?
Squatching.com.
SQUATCHING.
Yes. Do we have it up here? Can I
don't know if you can.
Oh, my God.
No,
I got to
don't.
have the website. We don't have the...
Well, there it is. Look on the TV,
look.
Scott. It's a thing called
there it is,
television.
Squatching.com. And
Yeah.
I put a special, there is a special deal for the screensavers. If you go to the bio, there's only 3 pages. Go to the bio page. In the lower right-hand corner, I have a Screensavers Squatching Plus Squatchdom special. This is another one I made 8 years ago called Journey Toward Squatchdom.
Oh, so this is not, you're nothing. Now, what was different between this experience
This is
and the
pretty
first
much
experience?
almost pure mockumentary. This is one, if you saw this, you would think I didn't believe in Bigfoot at all. I interviewed...
This before you came out.
Exactly. Before I came out of the Squatch closet.
Right.
And much more directly funny. This is more serio-comic, and they both should win Oscars.
So when did you tell your parents?
They knew. In fact, that's part of the film. I take them on a camping trip and want to find out why I got so interested. So they talk about how how I got obsessed. My dad says it's because I hit my head on a coffee table.
Many times.
Yes, many times.
Boom, boom. Hey, we got to say, first of all, it's great seeing you. Don't be a stranger. It was almost 5 years ago. It's 5 years ago next week.
Ouch.
That ZDTV launched, and one of its best shows, in fact, I still think its best show, was hosted by a guy named Scott Harriet and Michaela Pereira. This is what Scott looked like 5 years ago on Internet Tonight.
The thing about the Internet is the plethora of useful information out there. That is, if you know where to look. Well, we do. Here's our incredibly useful site of the night. Beware, it's kind of cheesy.
Hold your nose, the cheeseheads are coming. Well, we're not talking football and not all
That was
cheese
May 11th,
smell.
1998. Scott, I'll tell you, I missed that show still. You and Michaela were great. We tried.
Yeah.
Michaela's out of town.
Yep.
She arranged not to be around when you were here.
No,
I don't know
I
if there's
understand.
some sort of thing going on between you two.
Because I talked about Sasquatch too much on the show.
I wanted to get
Every
her to
single
come out
episode.
here and give you a big hug, but
Oh.
I gave you a hug for her, and it's really great to see
Is she going to be
you
at the party tomorrow night?
again. Is she coming back? She is.
I
Will
will
you
give
come
her
to the party?
I am going to be at the
All
party.
right, we're having an anniversary party tomorrow night.
Looking forward to
You're
it.
all invited.
Yes, come on down.
Please come. For tips on getting started with, they'll never figure out where it is. Will they? Yeah, they probably will. Oh well. For tips on getting started with Final Cut Pro, the program Scott used to make squatching, check out the website at
Calling Dr. Freud.
Screensavers.com. This show is live.
It is.
It is live.
Wow, yeah,
Yes.
we did the old
yeah,
live
you
tape
yeah,
stuff.
man. Yeah.
We were wusses.
I'll never forget you guys finishing the last reel of your show and literally running it upstairs to Master Control to get it on the air because they'd already started airing the show as you guys were finishing it.
And it took 30 minutes to get the swear words out.
Unbelievable. Stay put, folks. Scott Harriet, isn't he great? We got a new Photoshop project to knock your socks off. Yeah, Burt Monroy's here. And after the break, 2 days till the Matrix gets reloaded. But you can download it today. Sarah shows you how. First, a web tip from Jessica.
All right, you guys, one of the best ways to transfer large files between one another is instant messaging. Check this out. For AIM, it's easy. What you're going to want to do is right-click on the person that you want to send it to. You scroll all the way down to Send File, and then you choose the file that you want to send, you press Send, and voila, you're in business. Stick around, TSS is coming right back.
don't forget to register for this week's Screensavers LAN party.
Who's that?
Powered by NVIDIA. Powered by NVIDIA. We're going to do Urban Terror, Quake 3 Urban Terror, which is the mod we did last week. It crosses Quake 3 with Half-Life Counter-Strike. Grab a machine gun, or a machine, and your Kevlar armor, and attack your friends in a battle on the streets. A lot of fun. You got to own Quake 3. And you must download a fairly large mod. It's 200 megs, so get started now. Go to thescreensavers.com, click Join Our LAN Party, and you will be in the running. We'll see you Thursday at the Screensavers LAN Party.
Kim joins us on the phone from Gilroy, California.
Garlic capital of the world. Hello, Kim.
Hi, you guys. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing great. Can you smell the garlic where you are?
You know, it's awesome. It always smells like spaghetti in my town.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the smell of garlic in the morning.
And Gilroy has that wonderful garlic festival every summer where you can get garlic ice cream. And
you can pretty much get garlic year-round in Gilroy.
Yeah. What can we do for you, Kim?
You know, finally, we got cable broadband in my neighborhood.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I was very excited when I got the little postcard in the mail.
I know. That's a great feeling.
So I got broadband put in today. Now I'm looking at routers, and I'm looking at the A standard routers.
How come A? Because it's faster. Is that A because it's faster?
Because it's more reliable.
Well, you'll have less interference if a whole bunch of other people in the neighborhood are running 802.11b networks. If you're on another,
they're all going to be.
Yes.
You know what? You're probably and plus there has
are.
more channels, so there's less likely to. Even if there are a bunch of.
But why not G though? Why not? Because that's just as fast as A, right?
It's just as fast as A, but remember, G's splitting the same. Well, first of all, G's not finished yet, right? So they're still filing out the code on that. That'll be finished later. But it's splitting the bandwidth. It splits the same 2.4 gigahertz frequency with 802.11b. So there's a limited amount of space. There's a limited number of channels, and everything in the planet that uses unlicensed radio spectrum pretty much uses 2.4 gigahertz, from portable phones to, microwaves.
Kim, it sounds like you did your homework, Kim, and you're right to choose A.
Well, I was listening to you, Leo. You were on call for help, and
Did I say that?
You were talking about.
Oh. So what can we do for you?
Well, I'm looking for a wireless PCI card for a desktop that supports A, and I'm having a hard time.
Well, are you looking like at the local computer stores and they don't have them in stock?
Well, I actually called Linksys.
Really?
Yes, and they didn't have one.
I know they have them, and
actually, if you take a look up here, Linksys actually doesn't make a desktop version of the 802.11a cards. They do make PC card versions of them. However, what I did look around is D-Link and some other manufacturers actually do make both multi-mode, which you don't need for your desktop, which would be like A, B, and G, but they also make 802.11a. If I can slide down here. Do you remember one of those moments where there's just a giant page full of pictures and you can't find the right one? Yeah.
3Com makes them.
There it is.
D-Link makes them.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at a list. Intel makes them.
I've been pretty happy with some of the D-Link products I've worked with.
Okay.
They make 802.11a card. They actually have the nice thing about this one is check it out. They have a huge. Their multimode has a nice external antenna, and they have a 5 gigahertz wireless PCI adapter. Check SMC would be another one to check. And down in Gilroy, it might be worth taking a road trip to Fry's. Call them first and see what they have in stock.
Yeah, you got the best computer store in the world up the road from you.
Yeah.
And I just had one other question.
Yes, Kim.
Okay.
The one thing that when I was talking to Linksys, what they told me is with the A standard, it doesn't travel as far.
Yeah, but how far away do you want to use it?
Well, upstairs to downstairs. Will it go through a floor and through a wall?
I've had pretty good luck using it in my house.
You have A?
I've used A in my house. I don't have it permanently in my house.
It is a higher frequency, and the higher the frequency, the less it goes through stuff. So.
But in our labs test, they actually found the A was consistently going as far as the G, which we thought wouldn't have been the case.
It's the barriers that you have to worry about.
You should have, but they were testing out of the lab, which has that sort of Faraday cage of cables around it. It shouldn't be any problem propagating the wireless 802.11a inside of your house.
Should get high-speed internet access, high-speed Wi-Fi.
Roaming.
That's exciting. Thank you, Kim. We appreciate the call.
Question.
Thanks for watching. Don't go anywhere, folks. Up next, Photoshop expert Bert Monroy is going to shoot up Leoville digitally. Something some of these people have wanted to do for a long time. When the Screensavers continue.
Nice.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Leo Laporte, back with another jaw-dropping, thrilling, gripping project for Photoshop. our favorite digital artist and Photoshop expert, Bert Monroy. It's good to have you back, Bert.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I really got to perform now. After
You're going to
that
shoot
intro.
me up, huh? Is that what you're going to do?
I'm going to shoot you up, yes. Actually, what I did, I went back to see what I did on the first time I was on this show.
When was the first time you were on?
May 3rd, 2001, 2 years ago this week.
It's almost exactly 2 years ago.
Almost exactly, right?
Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Thanks. So
wow, we ought to do something for him. I'll throw a party for you later.
We'll throw a trick.
Yeah, we'll do a trick.
So what I'm gonna do is what I did then is I took the displace filter to bend the flag. I had a flat flag and I made it look like it was flowing in the wind.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to revisit that filter, but for a different use.
Okay.
Okay. So we got here. What we see here is just a little sign for Leoville.
Entering Leoville.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this, give it a nice shadow.
Okay.
So I go up here and I duplicate that layer that has the little sign of Leoville. And I got it right here. I'm going to go in there and preserve the transparency and fill it with black. So
why do you preserve the transparency? What does that
So
accomplish?
if I don't, here, let's just look at that guy by itself. If I don't preserve transparency, let's turn that off. It's going to fill the entire layer with black.
That's not good.
No. So preserve transparency means the
It's a
parts of that
mask.
layer that's transparent, leave it that way.
Got it.
Only fill the active pixels.
Got it.
Okay, so now we go over here and we look at the sign, and here's our little road that we have there. And I'm going to put the road back here. Now I'm going to take the sign and I'm going to go in there and distort it. So I go into distort right here and I'm going to pull it down. Go right across here like so.
And there's your shadow right there.
There's my shadow starting to form. And let's pull this guy over here and just move it right behind the sign like
Boy,
that.
It's just that easy.
It's that easy. Pull down the opacity just a little bit.
Yeah, because
so you
shadows
see
aren't
through it.
dark black, right? Okay.
And it looks fine.
That looks like a shadow.
The only problem we have here is that look what the ground looks like.
Uh-oh.
It's rippled sand.
Now, a person like me is going to say that's good enough, but you're Bert Monroy. You can make it better.
Well, I know it doesn't work like that. Once you have the ripples in the sand,
you got to have the ripples in the shadow.
Right, the shadow has to ripple
Why are
too.
we going to ripple? That's complicated.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to duplicate it, and you'll see why in a little while. And let's turn off that duplicate off right there for a second. And here's where that filter comes in. Now, back here, I have a file that's just a desert.
Okay.
Just a sand. It doesn't even have to be open. In fact, we can turn it, just close it right here. And I have the layer with the shadow, so I go up to filters, and I go to distort, and there's displace.
Displace.
Now, 10% is the default. It's a little exaggerated, but I'm going to leave it at that so we can, for
What
the
is
purpose
displacement? Is it moving it over 10%?
It's going to take, well, what's happening is it's going to look at the luminosity values of one image to bend another one.
Ah, so the brightest areas will bend more and the darkest areas will bend less?
Well, no, it's the direction. If you have 50% gray, it will have no effect.
Oh, I
Anything
see.
that's lighter is going to move things up and to the left. Anything that's darker is going to move them down to the right.
And as it turns out, that's what a shadow looks like on a depression.
And when you look at it right here in the sand, you can see there's the lights and darks.
Oh, very clever.
So I'm going to leave the default of 10%, which is going to be exaggerated, but it'll work for here. Now, it's asking for the displacement map, see?
So you need the original.
And there's the desert.
Okay.
See?
That's where we're getting our light and dark from.
So I click OK, and we see that it
Look at
ripples
that.
it. Let's just turn off
Did
these
you see
guys.
that?
There it is.
It's rippled by the sand.
It's a little exaggerated, but it works. So there's the sand. But now we got a problem because there's a road.
Oh, the road has no ripple.
The road has no ripple.
Oh, what
so
are we gonna do?
That's where that second one comes in.
Yes.
So I'm going to take this one and move it behind the desert, right back here. And, not behind the desert, behind the road.
Yeah.
And there's the one that isn't rippled, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip that with the layer of the road. So now we got this nice straight one right through here.
That is a great effect.
And they're both in register with each other, so one that's rippled along the sand and one that's straight along the road.
A great effect. I love that. Ali, do we have time to do the bullet holes, or do you want to have that be web only? We'll make that web only. We're going to
make that
I'm
web
sorry.
only. Oh.
But you know, that's good. It makes people go to the website because he did a really neat effect by making those bullet holes
yes.
in the sign.
If you travel outside of San Francisco, people take fun just shooting at the signs. That's what gave me the idea for that.
I'll tell you why we wanted to cut this a little short, Bert. You said at the beginning of the segment this was your second anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's only appropriate that we should commemorate your second anniversary. So let's have it for Bert Monroy. 2 years on the screensavers. They're still lighting the candles. Meanwhile, let's mention Bert's book. Here we go. There you go. We baked a cake.
Oh my God.
You've been on our show.
The candle wouldn't light.
You've been on our show
do it
more
in
than
Photoshop.
any. Yeah, light it in Photoshop, would you? And more than anybody else. This is your 29th time on
30th show.
30th show. We are so glad that you are part of the Screensavers family, Bert. And we hope we got many, many more years of Bert Monroy
I could do that in Photoshop.
The book, Photoshop Studio. You gotta read the book. Everything Bert talks about is in there. Photoshop Studio.
Really nice.
From new writers, and of course his website is bertmonroy.com. And if you have any Photoshop questions for Bert or congratulations you'd like to send him, it's bert@bertmonroy.com.
Thank you. Is this real?
You can eat it. It's all for us. I mean you. I mean all of us. Thank you so much for a great 2 years. Here's to many more. Bert Monroy. If you want to create your own signs with bullet holes, we got the details on that too in Bert's article. It's at
Screensavers.com. Real easy. Yep.
Yeah, but it's a fun effect. I love it. And can I have this? Because I want to put this on my website.
That's yours,
I love that. Stay where you are, folks. After the break, we're going to show you how you can control your TiVo through the web when the Screensavers continue. Stay here.
Wow. Really cool.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. Let's check in with Sumi Das. See what she's got coming up tonight on Fresh Gear. Sumi?
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, Sumi.
Tonight we're going to be talking about many things, but one of the things I want to mention to you is a car. Now, we talk about cars a lot. More often than not, they're hybrid cars or electric cars, but tonight it's an old-fashioned gas-guzzling vehicle. It's an SUV, actually, and I'm not a huge fan of SUVs personally, but I know that people need them. I know that families really like them. This one is from Porsche, of all
You're
companies.
talking about the Cayenne, aren't you?
Indeed. Have you seen it?
That's not an SUV. It's a station wagon with a 400 horsepower engine and 10 inches of suspension travel.
Actually,
it's cool.
400. Have you driven it?
No, because they don't have them in the U.S. yet.
No, they don't.
Like
You're right. I thought maybe you got a little sneak preview. 450 horsepower for the twin turbo version. Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, this car definitely puts the sport in sport utility vehicle.
When is a sport utility vehicle not just another SUV? When it's the Porsche of sport utility vehicles, the Porsche Cayenne with a 340 horsepower V8 engine. And if that's not enough for you, what about a twin turbo, fire-breathing, 450 horsepower version?
A light brake, toss.
Porsche driving instructor David Murray showed off the PSM, Porsche Stability Management.
It's amazing that Porsche could build an SUV this good.
This car also has a really interesting feature called adjustable air suspension. This is kind of like those kneeling buses. When you want to do your off-roading, you push a button and it raises, it elevates the car, and it's really amazing because it goes inches in a matter of seconds. And then it's got the sport, you know, lower profile.
Yeah. On highway, you get the lower profile. The vehicle's more stable. You're less likely to flip. Off-road when you need.
I have that. When I get in my car, it goes way down.
It does?
That's sort of different.
But only one side.
And there's no button you can push to make it go
Oh no,
back
it's not
up.
a button. I just get in. It's automatic.
Anyway, $100,000 for the twin turbo version, $60,000 for the base model. You can find out more about it tonight on Fresh Gear.
Thank you, Sumi.
Thanks, Sumi.
We should tell folks if you want to get the cheap version, Volkswagen, same car, 100 less horsepower, $40,000 less.
But I want 450 horsepower. That's what's coming up after Tech Live, 8:30 tonight. Well, as you know, we brought it back. This is
Leo's
the most
long-suffering TiVo.
It is. I've done everything that's TiVo.
Can we get a nap for the TiVo?
Poor
Some
TiVo.
ice cream.
It's been working hard. I put 2 hard drives in it, 200 gigs, 190 hours record time. That was the first hack. Not so bad. The last time I was on the show, I put a TurboNet card in, which is great. It gives me Ethernet access. Now, this is a Series 1, so it doesn't have Ethernet access. By doing this, I can make my daily calls over the net. But the next step is, once you've got the network, you want to be able to get into your TiVo, right?
Right.
Via Telnet, FTP.
No.
And now I can do it.
So you're going to be controlling your TiVo over the web.
Absolutely. First, I'll show you what you. First thing you got to do is you got to enable Telnet. So I'm going to launch the Telnet client, Telnet TiVo, and I'm actually that's a badge
Should we
prompt.
explain what Telnet is?
Telnet is a terminal-based access. This is my TiVo. It's Linux, and there's the bash prompt. If I go to my hack directory, cd-var hack, you'll see I put a lot of stuff in here. These are all little hacks, and I'm going to go to this one I'm going to show you tonight is TiVo Web. It is a TCL-based, that's TCL-based web server that goes on the TiVo. It's running right now. I actually have it if I list my.
Essentially, your TiVo is a Linux box.
It is a Linux box.
And you're now remotely addressing the Linux box that is your TiVo.
I know, isn't that cool? Let me.
So cool.
This is RC Sysonet. This is my Sysonet, and those are all the things that start up. But you can see right here, every time I start the TiVo, that this is Telnet. This is TiVo FTP, and this is TiVo Web. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's this web server running in the background. Now, watch. I'm going to launch Internet Explorer, and instead of typing a URL, I've hacked my hosts file on here. So I could just type the word TiVo. And that's going to go to my TiVo on the web, and I'm going to have full access to the TiVo interface via any web-enabled browser. Come on, there it is. It popped up.
So what if I'm at a neighbor's house or I'm at the other end of the country?
Well, I personally don't want to put my TiVo on the public internet, so I have it behind a firewall. But there is a password in here, and you could, in theory, put this out on
VPN into your TiVo.
I haven't got VPN running on TiVo yet, but that's a good idea. I do have just basically a simple password.
I think it's firewall.
I think it's yes, that's right. Well, I could put a hole in my firewall, and then I could. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, watch the TiVo over here. I've got the web-based remote on my TiVo, so I can. Actually, let me go to the image version because it actually looks like a remote control. If I press the TiVo button, watch, it goes to the TiVo thing, and I could press the down thing. I'm actually controlling my TiVo through this web interface on here.
Look at that.
Isn't that cool? And I press this button. So, all right, so that's one thing I can do, but there's a lot more. For instance, I could search for shows in here. This actually has a little bit more functionality than the TiVo interface.
You forgot to save your favorite television show. You can log in remotely.
I can search for the show, find it. I can record a season pass, schedule a season pass, and record it. There's more too, though, that you can't do in your TiVo. For instance, I can look at my logs here. I have running on here that caller ID thing that we had the guy on LC. I can see every call that's come into my house over the last 3 months if I click that, but I'm not going to click that
really scary.
You could see it all.
That's scarier than RFID tags.
I love this stuff. So this is basically
spies on his family on the next screensaver.
Well, I can tell who called. You know, my teenage daughter is going to be in trouble. That's all I can say. You can read a mail. You can send you TiVo mail. Everything you could do with the TiVo remote control, you can do with TiVo
mail
Web.
server off of your TiVo.
This is an open source project. It's really a neat idea. They have done some interesting things. For instance, they look when you install this, I'm told, for TiVo hacks that are illegal, and it won't run if they've got some bad TiVo hacks on there.
It's an ethical program.
Yeah, it's an ethical program. TiVo Web, very cool. Next Monday, we're going to show you the next hack, which is actually, I think, even a cooler one still, the kind of holy grail of TiVo. This is called Thai Studio, and it is how you can download files. These are the files on my TiVo.
Is that considered a legal hack? Can you run this and the web system at the same time? Ladies and gentlemen, next week, find out a fabulous new TiVo hack.
I don't know. So we're going to actually talk to the guy who wrote part of this. Olaf will be here to talk about TiVo, the Thai editor, which allows you to get the files off the TiVo onto the PC.
Information on the website?
Yes, on TiVo Web, how to install it, all the details on the screensavers.com. I just love to be able to access my TiVo via the web.
Don't move. We're going to help our next caller, Dave, find where his run command ran away to. It's coming up when the screensavers continue. Isn't
that great? I love that. Bertman Roy sharing his cake with everybody in the studio. Isn't that
a generous
nice
man.
He's a very sweet guy. Thank you, Bert. That's very nice of you. I didn't
After
get
the
any.
show. Dave joins us on the phone from Port Huron, Michigan. How
Hey,
you doing
Dave.
tonight, Dave?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
We're great. What can we do for you?
Well, I got Windows XP Home and I got the Pro.
Okay.
And on my Pro Edition, I try to fire up like my net meeting, but there's no run command for me to do it.
Oh, you mean the little window you go to start, run?
I just use that to do the telnet. You go start. You go. You mean there's nothing? There doesn't say run here.
It says nothing. It just gives me my help search, and then there's no run.
Son of a gun! Somebody hacked your system. Let me show you how you get it back. It's actually pretty simple.
The hack's probably a strong word for
Right?
this.
Yeah, hack's a little strong. Right-click on the taskbar, select Properties. We're going to actually change your Start menu. So click the Start menu tab, and there's the Start menu. Press Customize, and we're going to the Advanced area here. It's not that advanced, but if you scroll down in the Advanced area, you're going to see there's a checkbox for Run command. Ours is checked. Uncheck it. Bye-bye run command.
No!
And the idea is that corporate people want to do that. Right. Parents might want to do it to keep your kids from arbitrarily running programs.
Start, run, regedit.
Now when I go to start, no, run, it's gone. So Dave, just go to the properties for your taskbar, click Start menu, Advanced, and you should be able to put it back.
All right, that'll work.
Yeah, it's a very common. We get this a lot. Where'd my run command go?
It's frustrating. Good call. Let's check in with Sarah now, because she's got the download of the day.
Patrick. I told you to call me Trinity.
Whatever.
Trinity.
I really meant that.
You didn't wear the vinyl.
All right.
She's going to hack you, Pat.
I did wear black, though. It's good enough. Yeah. All right, Matrix Reloaded comes out in 9 days. Woo! And we can't wait. I can't wait. Here's my only concern. I saw this trailer online a couple weeks ago, and again before X-Men 2 last Friday. Looks really cool. Love the action. Love the twins. But please, 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 Neo and Trinity, keep the kissing to a minimum. Oh, no. That's sick. That's gross. Oh, there is no kissing in the Matrix.
No.
All right. That aside, I'm pretty excited about this movie. You can hype yourself up with some Matrix downloads right now. Of course, start off at whatisthematrix.com. It's the official Warner Brothers site, so all the latest extra trailers, news, sneak peeks at the third installment in the trilogy, Revolutions. Then for a true mind warp, head over to intothematrix.com. This is where you'll find free downloads of the Animatrix prequels. These are anime shorts designed to bridge us between today's world and the world of the Matrix in the future. 3 are currently available online, and all 9 episodes will be available on DVD June 3rd. Please make a note of it. This is a clip from the first episode called The Second Renaissance Part 1, a rather sympathetic look at the persecution of machines, a divided world between machine and man. And I hear it's the biggest US and Japan anime collaboration to date. It's kind of interesting. However, watching a few Animatrix episodes leads me to a conclusion. Anime is super, super creepy. Yes. Why does Morgan like it so much? It is really weird. Okay. Parental discretion advised also, by the way, on those Animatrix clips. Head over to my article at thescreensavers.com, where I've even got a Matrix download that uses traditional non-linear editing techniques with the Half-Life 3D engine.
Wow.
You know, a lot of very respected scientists and computer scientists actually believe that machines will take over in the in the next 100 years. This is not.
They're already taking over. Look at this stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's no
they're
camera
all around
people.
Us.
Oh my God.
You didn't even know that.
Ah!
All right. Email me at sarah@techtv.com with other downloads, and sayonara.
Okay. I want you to call me Neo. Okay, Trinity?
Back to you, Neo.
Stay where you are, folks. Neo doesn't. That's not a good name. We'll delve into our inbox and see what's on your mind when the screensavers continue. Stay here.
By night you are Morpheus.
Final thoughts and parting shots in the screensavers. We are going to take the day off tomorrow. We've got a great show for you, but it is our 5th anniversary of the network, and we're going to have a great big party. And so the screensavers will have an encore presentation tomorrow. But we'll be back on Thursday with a great show.
Assuming nobody gets arrested this time.
Oh, don't bring that up. That was painful. That was
expensive,
painful.
is what it was.
Here's a guy who wants to know. From Houston, Texas. I don't see the name. Oh, there it is. Robert. Is it possible that my Series 1 Sony DirecTV TiVo system hacked to work on a digital cable service?
Well, you can plug the analog output from the digital cable box, and then you can use a little IR repeater to control the digital cable box, or a serial cable from the back of the Series 1 TiVo to control the digital cable box if it has a serial input.
But he has a DirecTV TiVo, so I don't know.
That could be a
question,
little
because it's
more
expecting a
problematic.
DirecTV signal in there. My guess is no, but you know, it's amazing what you can do with these things. The hacks you can do. So maybe you can.
Check out the TiVo Hacks FAQ. Ask on some of the boards. Good luck.
Dealdatabase.com/forums.
Or see if somebody who has a TiVo wants to swap for your DirecTV. Might be an easier way of doing it. Can I create a simple wireless home network with both Mac and Windows machines? Asks, wow, Graham from Kinnelon, New Jersey. Yes. 1,000 times yes. 802.11b, 802.11a, 802.11g, whatever they call it, Airport Extreme, it's the same stuff. It's an open standard. They no problem swapping them back and forth. And that's it for this edition of the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'll calm down in a minute. I'm Leo Laporte. Thanks for joining us. I want to thank our guests, Bert Monroy and Scott Harriet. Thanks to you for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Screensavers. Good night, everybody.
1,000 times yes!
1,000 times yes! Yes, yes!